Luiz Inacio Lula da Silva has been sworn in as Brazil's president. He expressed optimism about plans to rebuild the country, while pledging that members of outgoing Jair Bolsonaro's administration will be held to account. Lula is assuming office for the third time after thwarting far-right incumbent Bolsonaro's re-election bid. His return to power marks the culmination of a political comeback that is thrilling supporters and enraging opponents in a fiercely polarized nation. Paulo Cabral has more.
Luiz Inacio Lula da Silva is now the president of Brazil again. It's his third term in power. The inauguration happened here in Brasilia on the Sunday, January 1st, with a large crowd that came to witness this historic event. It's hard to estimate how many people, but we can see that the city is full of Lula da Silva supporters that are taken here. The Mall of Ministries and also another big crowd back there in front of the presidential palace, where one of the rites of the ceremony happened. It all began in the parliament, where Lula took an oath and signed his inauguration. And then after that, he went to the presidential palace, to the Planalto Palace, where he received the presidential sash. And that was a very interesting moment, because traditionally it's the outgoing president who puts the sash in the incoming president. But Jair Bolsonaro, the outgoing president, is not in Brazil anymore. He left the country on Friday night, did not attend the inauguration of the new president. So what they've done was to create a committee of Brazilians, one person with a disability, with special needs, one black child, one black woman, and one indigenous person, and them together then put the presidential sash on Luiz Inacio Lula da Silva. He also delivered a speech in parliament, and for our international audiences, I would say that some of the most significant things he said had to do with the environment. He committed to zero deforestation in the Amazon, and also said that Brazil has to go back to the international stage. He said, for example, that the country needs to strengthen again its relations with the countries of the BRICS. For Lula supporters, it's a moment of hope, high expectation, and also many demands. Let's hear what some of them had to say.
It's a historic moment. After so much bad stuff coming from the Bolsonaro government, thank God that's over. It's now time to rebuild the country.
Well, I think priority number one, of course, is the situation of poverty. Brazil now came back to the map of hunger. There's millions of impoverished people now in the country, and this is, of course, the first task.
After the ceremony in the presidential palace, the last stage of the inauguration was to receive the greetings of the foreign dignitaries who came to Brasilia for this event. That includes the Vice President of China, Wang Qishan. This is all going to happen in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs back there. It was a big victory for Lula's camp to win the election, but challenges are just beginning. One of the big ones now will be to reconcile the country that's still extremely polarized after this narrow victory of Luiz Inacio Lula da Silva, now again the president of Brazil. Paulo Cabral, CGTN, Brasília.